Hello and welcome to Heavenly Album Covers. We're going to cover a lot of stuff in this episode. I didn't think we were going to cover a lot of stuff in this episode, but we are going to cover a lot of stuff in this episode. First of all, coming up in a little while, we're going to do a small tribute to the bus trip of 1964 of the Merry Pranksters, starring Ken Kesey, Ken Babbs, Neil Cassidy, and the rest of the Merry Pranksters. They took the bus trip in 1964 all across country, and at times they were chased by a 1969 Mustang Boss Haas 64th scale. And we also want to mention that we have been getting a lot more trolls in our comments section and also on our Twitter channel. We just love trolls. Trolls are the greatest. Trolls help us become better writers because trolls try to ingratiate themselves into our lives, but we are stronger than the trolls, and we can write better than the trolls, and we can out-troll the trolls. So all you trolls that like to be trolls, keep trolling because you make us better people. And I'm not sure why this is here. It's a magic 8-ball. And also wanted to show a couple of 45s, or at least one 45 and one picture sleeve. This is a Pink Lady 45 picture sleeve, and I don't have the record in it, but it's still a nice sleeve. Pink Lady they're even more pop and commercial than ABBA, really, but it's too bad that they never made the big time in their home country of Japan. So that's Pink Lady, the picture sleeve. Also, this is one of the first, and maybe only, 45 RPM singles I bought as a ingratiated child. It's Junior's Farm by Paul McCartney and his Big Wings. This was recorded in England. It's on the Apple Records label. This sleeve has seen better days, but I've always liked Junior's Farm. It's really bombastic and complete. It's just a ultimate Paul McCartney production, and he actually produced this. The flip side is Sally G. I'm not sure who Sally G is or was, but she made the B-side. So I bought that. I was writing with my sister and her then boyfriend, who became a really bad person, and we were just going past a department store. They had to stop. They had to pull off the freeway. We were going somewhere. I think we were going to San Francisco or something. And they had to pull off the freeway. And we went into this department store, and I found this. And I think my sister bought it for me. Or maybe my bad future brother-in-law bought it for me. Also, I managed to frame the Alan Watts book. I had it in another frame, but I broke the glass in that frame and had to think quick. And so I put it in this older standard frame. I think it looks pretty good. And I might take it out of the frame and read it later. Or else I could probably read this book online. It's a short book. It's probably a PDF somewhere. And our main feature today is Satty. I had a acquaintance at one time. Let me get a drink. I had an acquaintance at one time. He's still an acquaintance. He pops up from time to time and I bump into him. But when I mentioned that I liked the artist Satty, this acquaintance of mine corrected me and he said, no, it's pronounced Satty. And that's kind of why I really don't talk to this acquaintance much anymore. You should not correct people's speech patterns. And so we are going to quickly look at the artwork of Satty. This is one of his first mainstream popular books. It's called The Cosmic Bicycle. Wilfried Sätty was born in Germany. He somehow made it to the United States and to San Francisco. He lived in a big house, kind of like a complex, which was nicknamed the U-boat. And he did all of his collage work, and they had massive parties at this place. It was a huge place, and I think it had like underground catacombs and things. And Wilfried Sätty would do his work there and mingle and socialize. And he became very well known in the San Francisco art scene and also the album cover scene. He did several, not many, album covers for different artists. People like, or groups like Beaver and Krause. This is a Satty cover. This is all collage work. He would paste things down and manipulate the imagery. He would do various impressions and lithographical techniques to achieve his goals. And this is Beaver and Krause. It's a really tremendous album. It's kind of mind-blowing. It's just massive, and it's got some awesome sounds going on. That's Beaver and Krause. And Satty worked and worked. He is considered, and I consider him the greatest collage artist in the history of the world, really. There's no one that surpasses him. He would just take clippings and he would piece things together like a big jigsaw puzzle, and just created thousands of pieces of art for different reasons. And lots of them were made into posters and were sold during the late 60s in hippie places and psychedelic places. Here's a book he illustrated all about Dracula. There it is, Dracula. And he also made a lot of noise. And let's see, there's a Satty illustration there from 1974. And some sort of being or monster here made out of flies. And this is all about the folklore of Dracula. And it's a big, heavy book because I can barely keep it held up. He also did a book about Edgar Allan Poe. There's his name. It's pronounced Satty, not Setty. That acquaintance of mine. I hope I don't see him again. You just don't correct people's speech patterns. And here's a bunch of Satty collages. All of these are collages. They're not necessarily drawings. He used a variety of techniques to accomplish his goals. So that's the illustrated Edgar Allan Poe. Much later, the butterfly collector and omniologist Terence McKenna used some of Satty's artwork in his book, The Archaic Revival. The Archaic Revival. That has a lot of A sounds in it. And this is a very good book. It contains little snippets, articles, interviews with Terence McKenna, and features lots of Satty art, not Setty. And this is a much later book that came out, Visions of San Francisco. It's mostly incomplete or uncompleted artwork, but there's lots of it. A lot of this artwork in this book is not quite finished. It doesn't really have that sparkle to it. Some pieces are finished, and this is all about the fantastic world of San Francisco. And a few years ago, about 6 or 7 years ago, I saw a piece of Satty art on eBay, and nobody was bidding or nobody seemed interested in it. And finally, I bid on it, and I got it for about the price of 6 packs of cigarettes, real inexpensive. And it's a signed Satty, not a Sätty. And it's a beautiful little, it's like 12 by 10 little collage, and it's signed, and I think it's from about 1970. We have it framed. We put a little light on it, so it's a really special little piece of art. And I think that's it. That is Satty, not Sätty. And we do heartily encourage trolls to troll away. Trolls on the internet have a long history, and they tend to like to ingratiate themselves subtly into one's message area or comment area, and then they try to turn the tables, and then they get upset, and then they start calling people names in the comments sections. And we're gonna cover the bus trip pretty soon. We don't have a lot of material, but we have some stories and some interesting things to say about the bus trip. It's the 60th anniversary of the Merry Pranksters bus trip.